Hello and welcome back to Full Count, where I have been ranking the teams from 30 to 1. And if you clicked on this video, you know that at 13, I have the Atlanta Braves. Look, folks, last year was brutal. We know that. But I'm going to get into this lineup, and I know everybody should be excited about it. At least I am. And definitely the starting pitching is exciting as well. So we'll get into it. And then I'll talk about the over-under and everything, all the injuries that we know and love from the Atlanta Braves. So, yeah, number 13, Atlanta Braves. If you guys think I ranked them too low, let me know. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe if you actually like it. If you don't like it, click off the video. That's okay. And use the SeatGeek code if you want to catch a Braves game this year. $20 off your first purchase. Now, let's get into this thing. In the one hole, we got right fielder Ronald Acuna Jr. We all know how good Ronald is. He's a 5-time All-Star. He's an MVP winner, a 3-time Silver Slugger. He's received MVP votes 4 separate times. The man is one of the absolute best players in all of baseball when he plays. That being said, he's had some injuries over the years. He only played 94 games last year and still produced like it was a normal season for most. He hit 21 homers and 12 doubles. He hit 290 with a 417 on base, folks, and a 518 slug for an OPS of 935. He's just so elite. I'm not sure if he'll ever steal bases like he used to, but if he does, that'd be really exciting. Just a reminder to everyone, he did steal 73 bags while hitting 41 homers in 2023. Just absolutely unreal stuff. He's awesome. We all know this, but he's coming back from 2 ACL tears. So who knows what type of player he'll be. I think we saw it already. And that answer already, the answer is the answer. He's not going to steal as many bags, and he's still going to rake. So great player, Ronald Acuna. Great way to start off this lineup. Then in the 2-hole, they got catcher Drake Baldwin. This guy snubbed Cade Horton of the Rookie of the Year last year. There's no doubt that he put together a solid season last year, though. And especially at a premier position like catcher. He hit 274 with a 341 on base and a 469 slug for an OPS of 810. He had 19 homers and 18 doubles. He was worth 3.3 WAR last season, which is fun. He graded out really well behind the plate in terms of blocks, but really nothing else. I think he's a good ball player, and he'll be valuable for some time. Any catcher with a good bat is going to be fun and will be valuable. So, yeah, any team's going to want him. I'm excited to see what he can do this year in a full season. Braves fans need to hope that he avoids a sophomore slump this year because, God, their whole team had a slump last year. So we'll see on Drake Baldwin. I don't think I like him in the 2-hole, but, yeah, we'll see. 3-hole, first baseman Matt Olson. Just easily one of the most underrated players in our game. He's played 3 years straight and hasn't missed a game. The ultimate Iron Man. People don't realize how good this guy is at first base. Like he very well might be the best in the game. He's that good. Last season was a bit of a down year. He hit 29 homers and 41 doubles. He had a 272 batting average with a 366 on base and a 484 slug for an OPS of 850. He's elite. He's been a 3-time All-Star, a 2-time Gold Glover. He's received MVP votes 4 times now. He's just awesome. He's a fantastic defender at first as well. About the best it gets in the game right there. So he walks a ton and he hits for a ton of power. Let's not forget that in 2023, he hit 54 homers. He still has it in him. He's awesome. I love me some Matt Olson. Guy is a dog. In the 4 holes, third baseman Austin Riley. Austin definitely had a down year last season, but it wasn't atrocious or anything. He went on a 3-year run in 2021, 22, and 23 where he hit 33, 38, and 37 homers. Like, let's not forget what this guy can do. And I'm probably going to say that for every player on this list because they were terrible last year, but let's not forget who the Braves are. But anyways, last season he hit 260 with a 309 on base and a 428 slug for an OPS of 737 in a big down year for him. So he's still an above average hitter at his worst. But he hasn't sniffed the player that he was in that 3-year stretch. Last year he was able to hit 16 homers and 20 doubles. He only appeared in 102 games though, so I totally expect for him to hit 25 plus homers this year as long as he's healthy. He's never really been a good defender at third, so that's not something that you can kind of expect. But I think the bat will be awesome this season. I'm excited to see if Austin Riley can get his name back in the conversation as one of the best third basemen in the sport. By the way, there were people saying that Jose Ramirez was worse than this guy a couple years ago because of that 3-year stretch that he was on. So, look, high upside here with Austin Riley. We know what he has done in this league. He's just got to bring it back. So, we'll see. 5 spot, you got left fielder Mike Yastrzemski. This was kind of like a quiet pickup in the offseason for the Braves, and I kind of like it. I like it especially now after Jurickson Profar got caught again. It's a guy that gives them depth in the lineup for sure. He's not going to blow you away, but he's a solid big leaguer. He's never going to be a guy that hits for a high average or anything, but he's a guy who can give you some pop towards the end of the order. He was a 109 OPS plus guy last year, so he's valuable with the bat. He hit 17 homers and 28 doubles last year. I think getting out of San Fran will definitely help him. He did hit 25 homers in that stadium back in 2021, so that's pretty fun. He's starting to get a little old, but I still think he's going to be an above-average big leaguer like he was last year, and that's always a nice bat to have. So I like Mike Yastrzemski here. Would I have him in the 5 hole if I was creating the lineup? Absolutely not. I would not. But anyways, in the 6th spot, second baseman Ozzie Albies. I mean, it's really just the common story for all these guys. They used to be awesome, and they underperformed last season. Ozzie has been he's been probably one of the best second basemen in baseball before, but last year was far from it. He had 240 with a 306 on base and a 365 slug for an OPS of 671. Yikes, Ozzie. He had 16 homers and 23 doubles. He was not the Ozzie Albies of old at all. Last season he had no pop at all. He didn't strike out a lot. He didn't whiff, and he squared up the ball a lot. So, I don't know. He was still a decent big leaguer, but this guy hit 33 homers in 2023 and 30 in 2021. Like, he's better than this. That's for sure. So, I expect a much better season for Ozzie in 2026. But, with all these guys, I expect better, but can you count on it? I don't know. Then in the 7th spot, you got center fielder Michael Harris. This guy is an elite defender out there in center field. I love Michael Harris, even though last year was really bad, just like all these guys last year. He still hit 20 homers and 26 doubles, though. It's not like it was the end of the world for him. He had 249 with a 268 on base, which is glaring low stat for him. That's just awful. He's still just 25 years old. My thing with Michael Harris is I think he's going to have an MVP type of season. Might not be this year, but one of these years he's going to do it. He's going to finish top 5 in MVP. He's that good. But last year's expected batting average was a lot higher than his actual, which is a positive for sure. He also stole 20 bags last season, so he's valuable on the bases. I love Michael Harris, and I think people are giving up on him way too quickly. I think he'll find his way into the top of the order for this team by the time it's all said and done. He does need to limit the chase this year, and he needs to learn how to take his walks. And if so, he's going to be awesome. Michael Harris is extremely talented. So, like I said, I think there's an MVP season in him. Winning MVP, no, but a weak year type of MVP, he has it in him. He's that good. Anyways, in the 8 hole, DH Dominic Smith. What a name. He only played 63 games last season, and he was solid in those games. He hit 284 with a 333 on base and a 417 slug for an OPS of 750. I don't know how this guy can't make a roster before the season starts. Why does no one want to sign him to anything higher than a minor league prove-it type of deal? The Cubs, I think, signed him. It was either last year or the year before to just a spring training minor league type of deal. Why does nobody want this guy? He's good. He's a really good ball player. I love this pickup for the Braves, especially with the absence of Jurickson Profar in the lineup, who was going to be in the DH spot. He hit 12 doubles last season in 63 games. That's pretty solid. I know he's an awful fielder, but that's why he's at DH. Really like the upside of this pickup. If he doesn't work out, that's fine. The Braves have guys who can replace him. I'm not really too worried about it. So yeah, I like Dominic Smith here for sure. 9-hole shortstop Mauricio Dubon. This guy is pretty elite in the contact department. He ranked in the 97th percentile when it comes to strikeout percentage and 90th in whiff percentage. So, but he's here for his glove though, and he is absolutely elite with the glove. He was in the 99th percentile in terms of range or outs above average, the same thing. And he has a really good arm as well. He's going to play lockdown defense at the premier position in the sport, and that has a lot of value, even if the bat isn't great. So I like Mauricio, and I love him in the 9-hole. He doesn't need to hit to be an important part of this team. That being said, he won't strike out, and that's very valuable in my opinion. I think it's an underrated part of the game today, and people undervalue it. But I do think people are starting to value it more after the Brewers' 97-win team. So, yeah, I like Mauricio here to end up the lineup. But the guys I really like here, like Jonah Heim, really underrated pickup this offseason. That guy was an all-star, just 2 years ago, 2023. So, like him as the backup catcher. And then Eli White, kind of utility guy, stud. And then, obviously, they have injuries to Ha-Sung Kim and Sean Murphy, who have done it in this league. So, look, they're deep. I don't know when they come back on those injuries. I should have looked that up. But anyways, I really like the lineup. I think everybody really loves the lineup. So, yeah, not a crazy take by any means. This is where you can either get a team that wins 90 games or a team that wins 80 games is the rotation. Now let's get into it. In the 1 spot, Chris Sale. This guy is actually so incredible. He's just so dominant. He won the Cy Young in 2024, and he was incredible last year. He finished top 6 in Cy Young 8 different times in his career. He's gotten MVP votes 5 different times. He's a 9-time All-Star. Last season, he probably would have finished top 5 in Cy Young if it wasn't for the lack of innings. He threw 125 innings, and they were elite. He had an ERA of 2.58. He was 100th percentile in breaking run value. Batters hit just 143 against that slider. An interesting thing last year was that batters had 0 hits in 72 pitches of his sinker. Kind of interesting. I don't think it's much. I'm not going to look into it much. But it'll be interesting to see if he looks into it. I'm sure it's nothing, but I think it's kind of interesting. 72 pitches, 0 hits against that sinker. He was 95th percentile in strikeout percentage. I mean, if you just go on his Baseball Savant page, it's all red. Like, I could just spam and tell you all the percentiles that he's amazing in. It's awesome to look at because Chris Sale's amazing. I hope he's healthy this entire season, and I'm sure Braves fans obviously agree with me on that. So, he's a bona fide ace. Great spot. Great start in the 1 spot with Chris Sale. Now in the 2, Spencer Strider. This is another guy similar to a lot of the hitters on this team who used to dominate and hasn't been the same player as of late. Spencer's is a little different in my opinion though because he's had injuries. Last season he was able to throw 125 innings, but they weren't all that good. He had an ERA of 4.45. He walked too many guys. He gave up a lot of barrels, a lot of balls in the air. The average exit velo against him ranked in the 5th percentile. So in other words, people were raking him. The fastball was still humming a bit, but not like it used to. He did still get a lot of whiffs, which is the only positive thing you can really take out of last season. We know this guy's ceiling is an elite starter in this game, though, and that's why he's projected in the 2 spot in this rotation. He finished 4th in Cy Young in 2023, so I don't know. I don't know how to feel about him going into this year, so I'm not going to set 0 expectations, but just know that I'm excited to watch what he can do because the guy's electric when he's on. So I don't know. Kind of an interesting 2 spot. Don't know how to feel about it. Then in the 3, you got Ronaldo Lopez. I'm pretty excited about Ronaldo Lopez going into the 2026 season. He missed basically the entire season last year due to injury, but the year prior in 2024, he threw 135 innings with a 1.99 ERA. Like, just insane stuff. The only time he's really thrown a good amount of innings was back in 2019, though, so there's definitely a bit to worry about with that. I'm curious to see how he looks post-injury. He's been around for a long time, so that can get to you, like getting injured. So he's a guy who's going to strike people out. He's going to give up some hard hit balls, and he's not going to get a lot of ground balls, but he's got a solid fastball. But his curveball and slider are the stars of the show for him. Like, they get a ton of swing and miss. I don't know. I'm excited to see what Ronaldo Lopez can pull off this season, but can't say I expect a ton. He's coming off an awesome 2024 though. He probably has some confidence with that. So, yeah, kind of the 2 and 3 here are big like what ifs. They could be awesome. They could be not so awesome. So it's kind of the thing with this whole Braves team. Like, their ceiling is one of the best teams in baseball, but we saw the floor last year. But anyways, in the 4 spot, Grant Holmes. Now this guy is not a ceiling guy. He's pretty much just a mid pitcher, but you don't hate that in the 4 spot. He's played 2 years in the bigs, and he's thrown 183 innings with an ERA of 3.83. I think that's basically just the guy that he is. He's technically an above-average pitcher, numbers-wise, but to me, he's just an average starter. He has a very average heater. He walks too many guys, but he also strikes out a lot of guys out. He gets a lot of whiffs, but also gives up a lot of hard-hit balls. So, I don't know. He's just pretty mid. I will say, though, he does have a nasty slider. That thing plays. This is kind of a cool stat. He threw his slider 702 times last year, and on those 702 pitches, he only gave up 33 hits. So, the thing is pretty disgusting. Love his slider. And I like Grant Holmes in the 4 spot because he's a mid pitcher, and that's fine. Now in the 5 spot, Bryce Elder. Now, this is a guy that was not good at all last year, but in 2023, he was an all-star and put together a good season. I think he's a guy that really doesn't have a ton of upside. He's just struggled to limit any hard hit or anything, really. The only positive thing about him is that he gets grounders, and you guys know that I love that. Keep the ball in the park as much as possible. So, I don't know. The real story with the 5 spot in this rotation is who's going to come back healthy first to fill this spot. Because let's talk about the injuries. Start off with A.J. Smith-Shaver, who I think is unreal. But he will be out for most of the season, if not all of it. So he's not a factor in this conversation. Next guy. Spencer Schwellenbach is ruled out until at least May. So he's definitely a guy that will take a spot in this rotation whenever he comes back. Probably kick Bryce Elder out of there. Then Hurston Weldrup has no timeline, but he is supposed to return this season. And then another guy, Joey Wentz, is another starter who is hurt. He's a bit of a lesser name than those other guys, but he's out for the whole season anyways, so we don't even need to talk about him. It's crazy the injuries that they have. And then, obviously, Jurickson Profar suspended. I do have to mention him because that's a big loss as well. As for the bullpen, Raisel Iglesias, Robert Suarez, Tyler Kinley, Aaron Bummer, Dylan Lee, all names that I really like. You guys might say, Dylan Lee, why the hell do you like him? I don't know. Something about him, I feel good about it. Anyway, so those 5 guys I like in the bullpen. Their bullpen's always pretty good. Yeah, this is tough. The over-under is 87.5 for the Braves. Usually I write down my answer of over or under. I didn't write it for this one because I don't know how to feel about it. Look, I have them ranked 13th, but 87.5 is not where the 13th team would be, over-wise at least. But last year was so bad that it scares me a bit. The Marlins are on the way up. The Mets are good. I think the Phillies are going to have a really bad year. And the Nationals are like the worst team in baseball. So it's 87.5 is actually really tough for me because I do think this Braves team is nasty. And the upside of this team is 100 ball games. Like they have the talent to win 100 ball games. Will they be healthy or will these talent even show is the question. Because like I talked about all these guys and how awesome they were in 2023. But what about the last 2 years? I didn't mention them because I wanted to be nice. Well, I did mention last year, but the year prior, I didn't mention 24. These guys were all like just on top of the world. But you just can't be that confident going into this year knowing what they did the last two. The team itself was good in 24, but God, I don't know where to go. 87.5 wins. 87.5 wins. Since I'm going Phillies under, and since I think I went under on Marlins, and I know I went under on the Nationals, that only leaves room for some wins for my Atlanta Braves. So let's say 88 wins, barely over on the 87.5. This team the upside is 100 wins. Like, it just is. So I got to believe in the upside. I know I shouldn't. But I like to think 88 wins, even if some of the guys have a down year. So that's what I decided on. I'm going over. Yeah, I took three teams under in this division. Well, actually, we haven't got to the Phillies episode yet, but we'll get there, and I will take their under. So I'm sorry if you're some loyal fan of the full count and I just spoiled it for you, but I don't think I have any of those, so it's going to be okay. But yeah, I took the Phillies under. So this division, I took 3 unders, 2 overs. So everybody's saying I take just overs. Not happening. I'm under, but I'm over on the Braves. So yeah, thank you for watching. Go Braves, and stay tuned to see who I have ranked at number 12. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.